everyone, welcome back to my channel. If you're new, my name's Joni Young and I'm an acrylic artist and instructor. I'm so excited you're all here today to join me for this painting tutorial. This is a really special one. I've got some unique techniques I'm going to show you today and you don't want to miss any part of this video, so be sure to hit subscribe and let's get started. Today I'm working on a 12x16 stretched and primed canvas. I've got some of my luminous paints I'm going to be using, pink, red, and yellow. I'm going to have a link for these down below in the description of this video. I'm also using bright aqua green turquoise and phthalo blue. I'll also be using some titanium white as well as some Mars black. So what I want to do is apply all the colors on the canvas first, let that dry, and then I'm going to come over top with some black, and you'll see the magic that happens once we take off a little bit of that black paint, exposing the rainbow effect underneath. So I can't wait. I'm so excited. I'm just going to jump right in and get started on this. I'm going to be using one of my mop brushes. I might be using a few mop brushes during this video. I've got a few on hand here, different sizes. I always like to have a few sizes of each brush. This one's a 1-inch and it's a mop brush. I've actually got a link for these specific brushes below the video as well. They're awesome. They've lasted a long time and the bristles never fall out. Okay, I'm gonna start with my yellow. I'm just gonna scoop up that yellow there. In no specific order, you can just have fun. Feel free and apply the color wherever you like. I'm going to take pink, pink over yellow will make a pretty orange color. I'm going to take a little bit more yellow, apply that here and there. And I'll take my red with a little bit of yellow in there. I'm going to go over to another brush. Same brush, just this one's clean and dry. And I'm going to take my green and I'm going to add it in and around the yellow here, over a little bit of the pink and the red. I'm going to take a little bit of white, and I'm using titanium white. I'm gonna dab this here and there. This will blend into the other colors, creating some softer tones, more pastel-like. So some areas will be really, really vibrant. And then I'm going to take some blue, beautiful phthalo blue in here. And I'm going to add a little bit more yellow. I'm just going to go directly to the canvas. Wherever I want to add a little bit more, make a little bit more green or orange. The yellow, this lemon yellow, will help make that by mixing in with a peachy, pinky red color there, and with the blue. Another mop brush. So I'll go into the pink and then into the blue. Now I know I'm going to be adding some trees in silhouette down here, so I'm not too worried about completely covering that up and filling that in. It's going to be filled in with black anyways. Forgot to get that little area in there. So let me just take a little bit more of my yellow, fill in any of these little spots. Kind of looks like tie-dye right now. I'm going to use what's left of this turquoise so I don't waste it, and phthalo blue, and I'll apply it down here. That way we've got this beautiful, well, it's making phthalo green. This peeking through any little bits of spaces within our trees. The next brush I'm going to use is a number 9 filbert, getting it a little bit wet, and I'm going to start wiggling around like this to make some interesting lines within my sky and clouds. Loosen up a little bit of this paint down here and get a little bit more water on my brush. It'll help me easily spread the paint around and do what I want with it. So I'm just kind of twisting between my fingers as I drag it around, creating all these neat little lines. Add a little bit of white. To add some softer areas. Maybe just a few little gentle pulls and flicks like this. So notice how as I'm going over some wet areas, I'm bringing it over and transferring it to another spot and overlapping, which is nice. We have all these different tones. I've got just a little bit more of this pink here. I'm going to mix it in with a little bit of white. And add a little bit here and there. Okay, I'm going to use a large brush for this. This one happens to be number 50, but you can use any large brush that you want. I'm going to take a little bit of water and just sort of thin out my black paint. And I'm going to do this quite quickly before the paint can completely dry on the canvas. So I'm going to apply it, and then I'm going to come in and take it off in some areas, exposing the beautiful, vibrant background that we've got. This is going to create a really interesting effect, and I'm so excited. So I'm just going to jump in and just start doing this right away. So you can apply it as thick as you want. I don't want mine to be too thick. I want it to be a little bit more transparent. Okay, now with my mop brush, another mop brush here, I'm going to start swirling my brush around. Swirling and taking off some of that paint before it can dry too much. You can use any brush you want for this. I just really like using these soft mop brushes. It's just so exciting to see the colors pop out in between underneath that black. I'm going to come in with another brush and take more paint off. I wipe my brush off each time. Rinse it off when you need to. So just take off as much as you want. Think about what type of effect and what type of sky you want. Do you want to have a lot of color, or do you just want it to be a little bit more mysterious and have more shadows? And another way you can approach it is by taking your towel, getting it a little bit wet, and going around and taking the paint off this way as well. This is really fun, and this is like a nice project to do with your kids too. My mom taught me something similar to this using pastels and crayons when I was really little. So I would cover the entire piece of paper, the entire paper with all different colors crayons, and then go over top with black pastel, and then take something and just scrape off the design or the picture I wanted, and it would all be just a rainbow, and it was so pretty. So I'll just wipe off any excess, anything that's a little bit too thick. Come back with a clean brush and start exposing a little bit more. Remember to rinse your brush off each time so you can get a nice, bright, vivid color. You can kind of make these little scoops as well to create little peaks in your clouds. It's so neat how you can just take this off without disrupting the paint underneath. I mean, if you scrubbed one spot too many times, you're bound to start interfering with that first few layers of paint. So just be mindful of that. But for the most part, once it's all dried off, you can add this black and then manipulate it around wherever you want. You know, some people are going to be asking me in the comments below, why didn't you just come in and add black where you wanted to? A couple reasons. It's not going to look the same. Second, this is way more fun. Art should be fun and exciting, not practical. It's the process and the journey. Not always the end result. This is just a really fun, creative process. I'm going to start softening some of the areas now where I've got more black. I'm going to come in with a little bit of a smoky plum purple color. Okay, now I'm ready for my next step. I'm going to be mixing a little bit of Dioxazine purple and light blue violet. I'm going to apply it with another mop brush. I'm going to go over wherever I have the black. The black works as a really nice dark base that's going to help build this up and create the depth that we want. This color also looks really pretty with all the other colors. It's kind of one that was missing. We have every other color but purple. So as you can see, I'm swirling it around and making some little scoop shapes. I'm using more of the light blue violet than I am of the purple because the purple is so dark. But just a little bit of each color is really nice. I'm going to squeeze out some more neon pink and yellow. I'm going to use one of my liner brushes. This is a number 1. I'm going to scoop up some white, get a little bit of water on my brush, mix it with some pink first, and I'm going to just come inside here and add some peaks around the clouds. Just little wiggles, squiggles, and scoops. A little bit more pink. A little bit of yellow. A little bit of yellow and white. Now before that can dry too much, I'm going to take a number 10 or flat brush, not filbert brush, and a little bit of water. And I think right from here where I've got this wet highlight inside, I'm going to pull and flick off. Gently pull some rays in here, some light rays. I'm just going to take a little bit more white on my brush, pink and yellow. So just pick a few areas where you add these rays. They can go in all different directions. Doesn't have to make sense. We're just having fun and working on some beautiful abstract fantasy type of piece today. You know, just alternate how much pink and yellow and white you use. Change it up each time. And experiment, because each one is going to give you a different effect, especially over all these different colors underneath. And that light purple. And then I'm just going to scumble over some areas too. I'm going to add a little bit of pink and white up here. And then alternate over to a little bit of yellow and white. And just keep adding to it as much as you want, really. remembering to rinse your brush out every once in a while. I'm going to add a little bit more white. And start to come in with some softer looking clouds. So I'm kind of twirling my brush around. I have a little bit of water on my brush too to help create this. Take a little bit more yellow this time. I need a little bit more water on my brush to help. There we go. And come inside here. Add a little bit of white, yellow, and pink. I usually, with sun rays, just stick to the same direction. But in this specific painting today, I'm just adding these beautiful rays of light all over. Take a little bit more pink this time, and I'm going to come right from the top of the canvas. A little bit of yellow. White. I've got a little bit of turquoise left here, so I picked up a little bit of white. I'm mixing that together. I thought I would come right in here, scoop, 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 and add a little bit more turquoise here because I really love the rainbow effect I'm getting by mixing all these colors. Okay, the next thing I'm going to do is take my old toothbrush that I like to use for creating stars and a snowflake effect. And for this particular one, I'm going to be using it for some stars. So I've got this brush here. I'm going to get it wet, dip into my white. So you need to make sure you have some water on your brush so it sprays out nice and evenly and not too clumpy. And you want to really make sure you aim it where you want it to go and hold it a little ways away. So you want to just place your thumb on the top and with your finger pull and spray. So then we've got more of a galaxy looking sky now. And I'm going to come in with one of my longer liner brushes. This one here doesn't have a size on it. It's pretty old and the paint is worn off, but it's a nice long liner brush, good for painting tall blades of grass and little wiggly areas like this in between some of the clouds for some brighter areas of light. And then I'm just going to soften some of these harsher lines. If anything just seems a little bit kind of out of place and not the right size, I just wiggle it out. And then with a little filbert brush, quickly back and forth like this. You don't have to paint as quick as I do. You can do this slower. This just adds a little bit more softness. The next brush I'm going to use to come in with my trees is a number 6 filbert brush. I'm going to use straight black for this. I've got a little bit of water on my plate just to loosen and thin the paint out. That way I can spread it and paint with it easier. So I'm going to load both sides of my brush and I'm going to concentrate on giving this a really interesting perspective, quite dramatic. I'm going to come in on an angle with my trees. So I'll just pull a little tree trunk in like this, and then with the tip of my brush, gently start tapping and that alone, just that one tree already gives this such a sort of a trippy perspective and feeling already, doesn't it? It's so awesome how quickly you can change a painting by adding a tree on an angle like that. It makes us feel like we're sort of laying down and looking up. And I'll add another one right here. Push, tap, tap, tap. All the way down. I'll add some smaller ones down here. Notice how I'm not going over the top. I like to leave a little line for the new growth and the baby branches at the very top of the trees. And some of you may feel more comfortable using a fan brush. By all means, use either a filbert or a fan, whatever you're most comfortable with. For me, it's definitely a filbert brush. I feel like I have just a little bit more control. I like the way the branches come out better with a filbert brush. Fan brushes can make the trees a little bit harder to paint, messier looking. I'm going to add some more dense trees with my black down here. I'll just gently pull up like this. Those will be farther away. We're not going to see too many branches there. And then I'm going to come over to this side. Maybe right about here. Come in at an angle again. And tap in some branches side to side, back and forth, right down off the canvas. I'm going to bring this one out a little bit farther. I'm going to paint this one just a little bit differently. Look how beautiful it looks with that bright yellow and pink behind. Making this one look a little clumpier. I'm going to take a little bit of black on the tip of my brush. I'm going to add some birds. So add a little line. Few little birds flying. You can see them in silhouette. And then I'll have a big tree coming right off the edge here. And it goes right off the canvas. You can kind of scoop and flick gently like this to give your branches a little bit more of a feeling. The direction you paint your branches can make your trees look a little more uplifting or happy. You can create a different mood with your paintings just on how you paint your branches. Make my tree trunk just a little thicker here. Add a few more dabs here. Maybe some little branches without any needles on them. Okay, I hope you guys enjoyed this one. This was a lot of fun for me to get to paint and show you guys. So have a wonderful day. Don't forget to hit subscribe, leave a comment or a question if you have one below. I always enjoy hearing from you guys and reading your comments. Take care, everybody. I'll see you soon. Bye.